From 1955 to 1975, AMC said they would change the automotive world with certain cars. But some models ended up endangering lives and damaging the company's reputation. Today, we're looking at the 5 most dangerous and biggest flops AMC ever produced. Dear viewers, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you for your support. Number 5, 1973, AMC Hornet Hatchback. A budget car with hidden costs. The AMC Hornet was introduced in 1970 as AMC's compact car to compete with the Ford Pinto, Chevy Vega, and Japanese imports. The 1973 hatchback variant was meant to offer more versatility and appeal to younger buyers or small families. It came with several engine options, 232 cubic inch I6 and 258 cubic inch I6, known for their durability but not for performance. A 304 V8 was optional, but rarely chosen due to cost and fuel concerns during the oil crisis. Rust was the Hornet's biggest killer. AMC was notorious for weak rust-proofing in this era. Even in dry climates, door frames and trunk edges began rusting within a few years. In snowbelt states, these cars sometimes had visible body holes within 3 to 5 years. Trim and panel alignment was often sloppy. Electrical gremlins were common: failed dash lights, faulty switches, and wipers. Suspension bushings wore out quickly, leading to clunky rides and poor handling. Despite being larger than imports, the Hornet had subpar crash test results. The hatchback's rear design lacked structural reinforcement. Crash tests showed increased risk of spinal injuries for rear passengers. Rear seats had minimal padding or structural support behind them. The inline-6 engines were adequate for daily driving but not exciting. Fuel economy ranged from 13 to 18 miles per gallon, not impressive even for the time. The optional V8 made it thirstier, but didn't add much performance due to gearing and weight. AMC Gremlin, 1970 to 1978. A chopped-down subcompact version. AMC Spirit, 1979 to 1983. A modernized evolution with little real improvement. One notable appearance: a Hornet X was used in the famous barrel roll stunt in the 1974 James Bond film The Man with the Golden Gun. You bought the Hornet for the price, but paid the rest in rust, repairs, and regret. Number 4, 1971, AMC Matador. The AMC Matador replaced the AMC Rebel in 1971 as a mid-size offering. AMC hoped it would compete with the Chevrolet Chevelle, Ford Torino, and Plymouth Satellite. It was available as a sedan, coupe, and wagon, with design elements that reflected AMC's push to modernize its image. Engine choices ranged from a 232 cubic inch I6 to 304, 360, and 380 cubic inch engines, 401 cubic inches in V8s. Major problems. One of the weakest points of the early Matador was its underpowered brakes. Even on the V8 models, fade under pressure was common. Emergency stopping distances were longer than most competitors. Many owners reported the pedal felt spongy and inconsistent, especially after downhill driving. Overheating issues. The larger V8 engines, particularly the 360 and 401, had chronic overheating problems. Poor cooling fan design, inadequate radiator capacity, weak water pumps that often failed early. In hot climates or long drives, the engine could overheat to the point of damage, leading to warped heads or full engine failure. Aside from poor braking, early crash tests showed subpar structural integrity. The front crumple zone was minimal, putting drivers at higher risk in frontal impacts. In real-world driving, sudden failures of power steering and brake boosters were not unheard of. Despite its aggressive name, Matador, Spanish for killer or bullfighter, the car ironically became a symbol of mechanical defeat. Critics joked that the name was more accurate than AMC intended, as the car killed itself more than anything else. AMC later redesigned the Matador in 1974, but the damage to its reputation was already done. The only thing the Matador managed to kill was AMC's credibility in the mid-size market. Number 3, 1969 AMC AMX. The AMC AMX was a rare beast in American muscle history. A two-seat sports coupe, directly taking on the Chevy Corvette at a fraction of the price. It came with powerful V8 options, 290 cubic inches, 4.8-liter V, 8 343 cubic inches, 5.6-liter V, 8 390 cubic inches, 6.4 liters. V8, the most potent, producing 315 horsepower. AMC designed the AMX to be small, fast, and affordable, hoping to lure young buyers. With a short wheelbase and tight handling setup, it looked like a serious performance car on paper. Chassis versus power mismatch. The chassis was based on the Javelin, shortened by 12 inches, but it wasn't reinforced enough for the high-output 390 V8. Under hard acceleration, frame flex was noticeable. The rear end had stability issues, especially during cornering or fast lane changes. Despite its performance focus, the stock brakes were small and often prone to fade during aggressive driving. No rear disc option, most models came with rear drums, even with the 390 V8. Many drivers reported loss of braking effectiveness after just a few hard stops. At high speeds, especially above 100 miles per hour, the AMX became light in the rear. A combination of weight distribution and lack of aerodynamic tuning. On uneven or bumpy roads, the short wheelbase contributed to twitchy handling and poor control. Safety features were minimal for the class. No ABS, no traction control, and limited crash protection by modern standards. The AMX was one of the few American two-seaters of its era, and aimed directly at Corvette buyers. However, in this performance class, federal safety expectations were rising quickly, and AMC's limited budget meant it couldn't keep up. Despite being loved by enthusiasts, it didn't meet all the safety benchmarks expected of a true sports coupe. The AMX earned respect as a rare, bold experiment by AMC. Only about 8,000 units of the 1969 AMX were produced, making it collectible today. Still, its reputation suffered due to its performance over safety imbalance. It'll get you there fast if the brakes don't give out first. Number 2, 1964, Rambler American, produced by American Motors Corporation, AMC. The Rambler American was a response to the growing demand for small, affordable cars in the early 1960s. 195.6 cubic inches, 3.2 liters. Inline 6 modest power around 90 to 125 horsepower, depending on trim transmission, 3-speed manual. Optional automatic. Designed to be lightweight, fuel-efficient, and inexpensive, the Rambler American gained popularity among frugal buyers and first-time car owners. Its compact size made it ideal for urban use. Major weaknesses. The unit body construction was not reinforced for crash safety. Front end and side collisions often led to severe deformation. No crumple zones or impact-absorbing design. The body would bend deeply, compromising occupant safety. The body and interior were described by critics as Spartan to a fault. Minimal insulation, thin metal panels, and low-grade trim materials were used to keep costs down. Many models had no armrests, manual windows, and limited soundproofing. Lacked modern safety features. No seatbelt standardization, no headrests, no padded dashboards. In crash tests, the front clip crumpled easily, and passenger injury risk was high due to the lack of internal protection. The 1964 Rambler American was actually built on a shortened version of AMC's 1950 platform, essentially reusing an old design to save on production costs. While this cut expenses, it meant the car was using outdated safety and handling technology. For collectors, it's a nostalgic piece of automotive history, but not one you'd want to rely on for structural protection. Number 1, 960 AMC Metropolitan, produced by American Motors Corporation, AMC, but designed and built in the UK by Austin for the US market. Intended as a city-friendly economical subcompact for post-war American consumers looking for thrift and ease of use. Engine: 1.5-liter inline-4, around 55 horsepower. Transmission: 3-speed manual. Size: just 149 inches, 3.78 meters, long, shorter than a modern Mini. Major weaknesses: its extremely small size made it ill-suited for American highways. Low ground clearance and narrow wheelbase meant the Metropolitan struggled on rough or uneven roads, bouncing or scraping more than its larger contemporaries. Poor crash protection. The thin body panels and minimal structural reinforcement offered little protection in collisions, especially from the sides. No roll bar, no side impact beams, a T-bone collision was potentially deadly. Interior lacked safety equipment, no seatbelts, no headrests, no crumple zones. Though sold as an AMC product, the car was 100% British underneath, including engine, suspension, and chassis. It was effectively a rebranded Nash Metropolitan, later badged under AMC after the Nash and Hudson brands were merged. Popular in urban areas due to its small size and efficiency, but laughed off by muscle car fans and interstate travelers, considered a second car for many households, fine for grocery runs, but not for long trips or fast traffic. The Metropolitan was marketed to women more than men. A rarity at the time, AMC's ads featured slogans like, "For the girl who's going places," making it one of the earliest cars to target women directly. Cute as a button, but feels like driving a shoebox on wheels.